In this episode of the SoFlo Vegans Experience, Joaquin Phoenix wins for Best Actor and uses his platform to speak out against social injustice. Big news for Dolphins in captivity. PETA CEO Ingrid Newkirk appears on some unconventional media outlets. Dr. Neal Barnard shares information about his new book and upcoming SoFlo appearances. And Miyoko's Creamery fights back against the state of California. All of this and more on the SoFlo Vegans Experience. SoFlo Vegans Experience lets you know what's going on in the growing South Florida vegan community, as well as covering some of the biggest news from around the globe. New episodes are released Tuesday and can be found exclusively on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and of course, SoFloVegans.com. Vegan Pop is a segment where we focus on the top trendsetters in the vegan movement. Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar for Best Actor and used his acceptance speech to deliver a message centered on animal rights. He addressed issues present in all social justice movements and focused specifically on the cruelty of the dairy industry. After the ceremony, both Joaquin Phoenix and his fiancée Rooney Mara protested the serving of In-N-Out burgers by holding up a card that read, "Choose vegan, it isn't a fad, it's the future." These cards were supplied by animal rescue organization Farm Sanctuary. They did eventually have burgers from an all-vegan restaurant, Monty's Good Burger. And some promising news for dolphins. It was announced that SeaWorld and Dolphin Trading Company Sutsignui, Indonesia are making big changes. SeaWorld is going to end their dolphin surfing shows. This comes after a damning veterinary report reveals that marine animals suffer extensive bodily injuries when trainers ride on their backs like surfboards or stand on their faces. SeaWorld plans to end this practice in the coming months. There is still a push from animal rights organizations for the park to release their dolphins and orcas to Seaside Sanctuary. Meanwhile, the Sutsignui Indonesia Traveling Dolphin Circus will have to close its traveling circus after the Indonesian Ministry of Environment did not renew its permit after a decade of campaigning by animal activists. The circus still plans to have performances at a permanent facility located in Central Java. PETA CEO and former SoFlo Vegans podcast guest Ingrid Newkirk is making the rounds on prominent media outlets promoting her new book. The book is called Animal Kind: Remarkable Discoveries About Animals and Revolutionary New Ways to Show Them Compassion. This includes stops at Real Time with Bill Maher and The Breakfast Club. It was great to see the reception she received from both media outlets, given PETA's controversial reputation in the non-vegan community. The following is a clip from our interview with Ingrid Newkirk when she visited South Florida back in 2018. So from 1980, and let's go back even further, from the 70s when you initially got started in the movement. What have you noticed as far as and things moving in a certain direction from then to now?
Well, of course, like every other movement for social justice, it's the slow crawl. And you sometimes have spurts of victory, and then you sink back a little bit, there's a lull, and then you move forward. The thing is, you've just got to keep moving. And the longer we've been here, I mean, we started out with 5 people, and nobody even knew what a vegan was. They thought it was a person who lived in Las Vegas. And so they really did. And you couldn't even ask for a vegetarian meal without someone saying, "Oh, I don't know." You know, now everything has changed. And that's just because the more you talk it up, the more you show people, the more you just keep plugging away, the more people we get onto our side. And that movement just grows and grows and grows. And at some point you reach a tipping point. And we've seen it happen with other movements who never thought it would happen. And yet that moment has come because the strength of understanding and support has been growing because of a few voices and a few more voices and so on. So activism, education, speaking out is everything. And all these changes have come about and many more have to.
This week, we spotlight Dr. Neal Barnard, who took time out of his schedule to speak with us about his new book, Your Body in Balance. In this clip, Dr. Barnard talks about his new book and upcoming tour in South Florida.
I've got a new book out called Your Body in Balance. Let me show it to you. And I'm touring around to encourage people to take a look at how foods affect something they hadn't thought about before, which is their hormones. I'm talking about sex hormones or thyroid hormone or insulin, which is a hormone. All of these things cause all kinds of biological symptoms, and you can control them with food.
Awesome. And he's going to be down here in South Florida in Davie on February 19th at 1 o'clock at the JCC, and then Coral Gables at 7 p.m. at Books and Books on both days.
Exactly.
The Vegan Food Report takes a look at some of the biggest veg food news from the week. According to a list compiled by the advocacy group The Good Food Institute, 58 of the top 100 U.S. fast food chains now offer a plant-based option. Some of the noticeable chains missing from this list include McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, and Popeyes. A noticeable standout on this list is Panera Bread, that is committed to increasing its plant-based options to 50% of its menu in the coming years. After rolling out their Impossible Whopper in August 2019 to all 7,200 locations, Burger King continues to experiment with other products. This includes an Impossible Junior Whopper and cheeseburgers for its kids' meals. There are even talks of an Impossible Croissantwich, or Croissantwich. Most recently, the Impossible Whopper was added to the 2 for $6 promotional menu. This is a brand new global category that Burger King is more than happy to be the leaders of. California Department of Food and Agriculture has ordered Miyoko's Creamery to stop labeling its products as non-dairy vegan cheese and butter. It says they need to stop using dairy words on its packaging and marketing materials. This also includes calling their spreads butter, removing lactose-free as a claim, and taking down a picture of a woman hugging a cow. Miyoko has filed a lawsuit in response to these claims. It's the question of the day, question of the day. Everybody, what's the question of the day? And the question of the day is, what is your favorite restaurant, vegan restaurant, in South Florida? Make sure you leave a comment, like, subscribe, click that notification icon, all that great stuff. Spread the word, and we look forward to seeing you next week on another episode of the SoFlo Vegans Experience.